Ugh, green as far as the eyes can see. You have all the major indices up. You have S&P, the Dow, the Nasdaq, the Ruskies, and the ARK Invest Fund. Huge euphoria in catalyst plays. You got the bond market trying to figure out what the hell to do. On one hand, the bond market wants to scream inflation could be coming, and on the other hand, they're like, wait, no, the recovery looks pretty slow. And obviously, the slow recovery argument has been winning. But hey, I also got to admit, these recovery plays are doing a lot better and bouncing back a lot faster than we thought. That panic that we saw with those plays just hasn't come back the last couple of days. But still, you got to question where the hell the value is for recovery plays when you can't recover to values that you've never been to before. The market can stay irrational longer than you can stay solvent, but you got to keep a clear picture of what the value of something actually is, especially if it's going to be a long-term hold. In terms of the crypto market, you have the cryptos bouncing back quite a lot amidst the B-word meeting where Cathie Wood, Jack Dorsey, and also Elon Musk discussed the future of the crypto market with some really important insights like,
I might pump, but I don't dump.
And of course, with all of this in the forefront, we need to discuss exactly what is detonating, why it's detonating, where the plays are, and what you need to know. Yes, we'll also be updating on Ooga Booga AMC as well. And the only thing that I ask in return for all of this is that you hit that ravishing like button, and also don't forget to subscribe either. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with catalyst plays. So because of today's euphoria, we did see some serious detonation and some serious luck on the catalyst plays. We'll start with Semi CEMI. Semi received a $28 million purchase order for COVID tests in Brazil, and as we were talking about earlier this week in context of AEHR, the runner from Monday, one of the things that tips me off to brief on something is when you have a big order or sale relative to the size of the company. That's what made the AEHR briefing play jump on Monday. And in a similar tone, Semi's $28 million purchase order was quite substantial when compared to its total market cap just yesterday of only $41 million. But keep in mind, if you don't like my whole revenue multiple theory, Semi's total revenue for 2020 was $32 million. So a single order of $28 million is substantial and a huge endorsement of the company. It's also true that this happens to be a new hype category, because with all of this new Delta and other variant fear spreading, anything with COVID treatment or COVID test in the name is going to have a lot of extra added on euphoria, which is why we got so lucky with this play today. From the briefing price at about $3.96, it ran to $6.95, which is about a 75% jump. Also, I do have to remind you that you don't have to join us to get the catalyst plays. You could put the work in yourself. Wake up each morning, make a spreadsheet, identify the characteristics of what runs and what doesn't. Do this every day for a few weeks and months, come up with probabilities of what's going to run, and then adjust it for the market condition. And you're going to start being able to find certain stocks in certain sectors with certain characteristics that are more likely to run. A few hours of consistent effort each and every single morning can go pretty far when added up over a couple weeks and months. Of course, that being said, I will put a link below to ZipTrader U if you still decide to join us. We do have a coupon code below. It's not as good as the last one, but it should do the trick if it's something that interests you. Okay, Lex was nice as well. We briefed on it at 860-ish. This was as it was selling off in the pre-market, but I felt that when volume eventually and inevitably flowed in at open, it had a high probability of correlating with some filling out on this catalyst. And that is indeed what happened. It went from 8 to 1250-ish, which is a 56% jump, give or take, or a 45%-ish jump from the briefing price. Again, thanks to good conditions this morning, but they do say that luck favors the prepared. NURA was another taker. I actually goofed this morning and spelled it NURA, but thanks to ZipTrader U members for correcting me. Thankfully, there's no NURA in existence anyway, so I think nobody got screwed up on that one. But nonetheless, we liked it because it was a huge runner from yesterday on FDA news and was likely to result in more hype runs this week, given how fast that hype had spread. The reason the hype started in the first place was because yesterday it received breakthrough designation from the FDA for its Quell wearable device to treat fibromyalgia in adults. There's so many damn sicknesses out there that can get you. It's frankly pretty damn terrifying. Of course, fibromyalgia is a massive market. In fact, over 4 million Americans suffer from fibromyalgia. Quite a large market for this product to reach. And it certainly provided a lot of euphoria for the stock. We briefed on this 30 minutes prior to market open at about 15.20-ish a share. It more than doubled up to 38.67, accelerating when volume came in at open. Very difficult to catch the full move because the gap was so fast, but nonetheless, pretty exciting play either way, and I'm pretty damn happy with this one. Not much in terms of other exciting takers. Meds had a nice rally and then dip. Obviously, crypto miners, Mar and Riot did pretty well, but those are a different beast entirely and lead us to the second part of this video. So Bitcoin. Now today's Bitcoin market detonated off its lows below 30. It's been fighting around for months, and the big catalyst for the increase today was this B-word conference. We warned about this ahead of time on Sunday's video and talked about how this conference was made to destigmatize and really debunk a lot of the misconceptions about Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies as a whole. Now that it's happened, I want to go ahead and give a quick breakdown and Charlie notes on what you missed. We'll start with the Musk man, quite musky as always. Musk said that Bitcoin mining is increasingly powered by renewable energy and that Tesla will likely move to resume accepting Bitcoin for transactions once again. That was the big FUD spreader in the beginning of the Bitcoin drop. Musk man making the decision to stop transacting in Bitcoin because of renewable energy concerns. And so saying that he might resume accepting Bitcoin for payments for Tesla soon is definitely a push in the right direction. At the end of the day, though, this is more bark than bite. I don't know how many people are really even buying Teslas and Bitcoin. I would argue Tesla buying Bitcoin and Elon Musk saying nice things about Bitcoin have a much, much larger and more positive impact on the Bitcoin valuation than just him saying that they're going to start accepting Bitcoin again for Teslas. He also said that aside from his companies, the only things substantial he personally owns are Bitcoin, Dogecoin, and Ethereum. He also said his aerospace company SpaceX also holds Bitcoin. And the biggest takeaway from that is that, hey, you know what? Elon Musk has said a lot back and forth about cryptocurrencies, but he does continue to hold. Outside of that, he made some projections in terms of the strength and the increasing scale of the Bitcoin network at that base layer, which is the current layer. He talked about how in the future, the Bitcoin network should be able to handle more transactions at lower costs, but also stressed the need for a long-term evolution into a second layer of Bitcoin transactions that can handle even more of a load in terms of transactions and at lower costs and at higher speeds. Okay, moving on, Cathie Wood. Cathie Wood emphasized Bitcoin as a store of value and a hedge against confiscation of wealth amidst increasing pricing power, inflation, and hyperinflation in emerging markets. If you think about how many countries there are in the world that struggle with hyperinflation, well, Bitcoin is an extremely powerful way for citizens of those countries to actually gain access to the ability to both send their money around the world and also build wealth and save their purchasing power. For us in the US, we're like, hey, wait a second. Bitcoin as a stable store of value? Cash doesn't go down 50% in a couple months. Sure, they print way too much of it, but it's not that volatile. But for people who live in countries where inflation is out of control or where the whole system is really doubtful, well, Bitcoin may be a very, very great alternative, especially in its more mature stages down the line. Madam Wood also talked about 1.3 billion people who live in areas where there's double-digit or even triple-digit inflation. Those are people that perhaps aren't so damn worried about Bitcoin's little fluctuations here and there. In these countries, it's not that their currency fluctuates, it's that it only goes down, and it goes down dramatically. So Bitcoin that fluctuates back and forth is a much, much more preferred asset class for storing value and purchasing power and actually being able to give value to the citizen that had earned that power. She also talked about how she feels that over the long run, Bitcoin will actually end up being much more environmentally friendly than the traditional banking and financial system. Next, Jack Dorsey. Jack Dorsey emphasized the ability of Bitcoin to transfer payments across the world without massive fees. He emphasized the predatory nature of the financial transaction industry and how Bitcoin offers opportunity to fix it, allowing access to actually send payment around the world without dealing with border transactions and fees and slowdowns and confiscation is really a huge selling point for Bitcoin, and he emphasized that in this interview conference thingamajig. And while these were many of the main topics discussed, I really couldn't do this interview full justice. It's an hour interview with some of the most intellectual minds. So if you want to check it out, I'll go ahead and link to it below. You can see the full interview on the ARK Invest YouTube channel. Okay, moving on. AMC Ooga Booga hit a new recent high at $46 before selling off. You're certainly starting to see what looks like new retail strength pour in. I'd expect if we keep making new highs to see more retail motivated to buy in. I think the AMC situation is such that there's a lot of sideline capital that is willing to pour in and trade off some momentum at any given substantial rise. And obviously, because of multiple factors in terms of shorts and in terms of that sideline money, you get an exponential rise when you do see that strength. And I think that we're just a couple green days away from seeing that. Now, whether we're going to get that or not is really a question for the crystal ball. But still, I would not underestimate what a few more green days in AMC would do in terms of an exponential growth rate. But at the same time, I wouldn't expect it. I would just say, hey, if it happens, that's icing on the cake. In terms of new things for the company, CEO Adam Aron was elected as chairman of the board. Outside of a few conspiracy theories, it seems like most people like Adam Aron. He's done well for the ape community. He shared a lot of useful information, blah, 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 blah. So probably a good development. Also, AMC announced 2 long-term leases on the Grove and the Americana. And in 2018, these were the 2nd and 5th highest grossing movie theaters in the greater LA area. I've personally been to the Grove one. These theaters are quite frankly located in high frequented luxury areas where people have money and want to spend. They want the luxury and classic experience, many of which are tourists. Tourists don't want to go and watch movies in their hotel rooms, so good move on the part of AMC. But of course, it kind of brings you back to that irony where it's like, well, AMC is not trading on the fundamentals, so why even talk about the fundamentals? The fundamentals do matter in the sense that it does rile up retail traders and it makes them more likely to be hyped on this. If AMC was just not doing anything with the money, they'd probably be less likely to be enthusiastic about buying it. AMC has done fairly well in terms of riling people up consistently over the last 6 months. Do I need to mention a lot of obvious pandering to the ape community? And they should be pandering. We gave them a lot of damn money. A free popcorn's not going to kill them. But the fact of the matter is that, hey, you know what? The movie theater overall addressable market might be shrinking over the next 50 years, but it's probably going to go down to a specific point and it's going to stay consistent there where people want that classic experience. And you could certainly say, hey, well, AMC is taking a lot of that addressable market that is going to be available. That being said, for me personally, I don't want to make any projections in terms of a fundamental basis for this because I can't make the numbers work in terms of what AMC can possibly accomplish over the next 5 to 10 years to justify valuations. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. You have to analyze the company based on the factors that you like and be honest with what you don't. I think there's very few people that are buying it because they think that movie theaters are going to be this biggest growing industry in the next 20 years. But at the same time, again, any positive catalyst is a good catalyst in the sense that it riles up retail traders, and retail traders are the main factor here in terms of getting that mother of all squeezes, as they say. And obviously, there's a lot of opinions on AMC and the AMC situation, but the only thing that matters is ooga booga. Anyways, folks, that caps off this video. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us below or join us on ZipTrader Circle if you'd like to learn how to trade with our step-by-step lessons, our private chat, and of course, our daily morning briefings, where we brief on all the catalysts each and every morning, all of our favorite catalysts. Well, I'll go ahead and put a link to ZipTrader U below. We do have a new coupon code down there called FUDSTOPPER50. The spelling's down below, but it's not as good as the last coupon code, but it should do the trick if you're interested in joining us or learning more. If you're wondering what broker to trade these stocks on, we like to send new traders over to Webull. They have an excellent platform. I think you're going to be very, very happy with them, and you will get some free stocks if you sign up and deposit using our link below. Anyways, have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video. Or you'll see me. I don't know exactly. I guess you'll see me because I don't really see you. I'm just looking at a camera, but I don't want to get literal here. Anyways, have a good one.